Chapter 4. I am almost certain that my friend is still alive and somehow communicating with me during lights out. Her silent visits continued for a dozen nights before the first message. She floated through the door and hovered beside my bed, staring as usual. Then she blinked. It seemed to take an incredible amount of strength, and she did nothing else that night. It was several nights later when she blinked again and sent me one word: trust. Yes, I tried to telepathically scream, "Yes, I trust you. I want to help you. Where are you?" The girl did not respond. Her green eyes glowed in the dark. She hovered at my side until the lights came on, and for once, I was able to sleep. The messages are coming more often, almost every night. Sometimes it seems especially challenging, and she falls silent for a few nights, gathering strength until she can send one again. The newest one was longer. She had been stuck on trust for a while, but this time she added a name: Neil. Trust, Neil. Who the hell is Neil? The name wasn't really helpful. Names were not used in the center. Was it the mysterious young attendant? He said he wanted to help me. Maybe my friend knew something I didn't. Maybe she'd sent him to me. There's no way to know for sure. It doesn't really matter anyway. I probably won't have a chance to talk to him again. Wrong. In the middle of the night, when I was finally becoming drowsy enough to fall asleep under my friend's watchful gaze, he burst into the room. My friend vanished in a haze which he ran through and dropped to his knees beside my bed. "They're moving you. Tonight. Now." He was sweating profusely. His dark hair clung to his damp skin. "Listen." He grabbed my shoulders and shook me gently. "Do not fight it. Any of it. It is going to be terrible, but remember, it could be much worse." "What?" He hushed me and turned to stare at the door. I heard the faintest sound outside. Damn. He dove under the bed and lay back down. The door opened seconds later and I heard them enter. There was more than one. This was unusual. I tried to keep my breathing even and slow while my heartbeat pounded in my ears. "Open your eyes, Jane." Something pinched the skin of my arm, and I felt the burning sensation as they injected me with something. Every molecule came alive, and I sat up in bed, rigid and blinded by a burst of white light, with an accompanying pain shooting through my head. "There we are. I told you she was ready." "So you did." As my vision cleared, the stabbing pain in my temples receded. Two attendants in matching sea-green scrubs stood on either side of the bed. They wore large, dark goggles and yellow masks over their mouths. Their heads were shaved close, one brown, one blonde. It's impossible to tell anything else about them. Even their genders are a mystery. "Calm down, Jane. Focus on the light." The blonde one shines a light into my eyes, and the pain redoubles. I fall back onto my pillow with a cry and grab my temples. The dark-haired one nods and makes a note on the tablet. The blonde one clicks off the light. "Okay, Jane. No more lights for now." The brunette clicks off the light, and the room is doused in soothing shadows. They each take an arm and pull me to my feet. My head is swimming, and the room swoops from side to side when I try to walk. They position themselves under my arms and steer me out the door. I glance back briefly as we enter the hallway. The young man is peering out at me from under the bed. His expression is worrying. The walk down the hall seems to take forever. The room shrinks and expands, and I am wobbly on my legs. The attendants, if that's what these goggled creatures are getting annoyed with me. They drag me along and sigh when I stumble. Finally, we reach a dead end. There is no more hallway. I lean against the wall as the room swirls and eddies around us. The masked attendants say something, but I can't understand them. A high-pitched buzzing has been steadily growing inside my head, and it is drowning out everything else. They move in closer, gesturing wildly, but I'm trapped. I can't get away. The light is growing painfully bright. The whine is louder and more intense. A deafening chime sounds somewhere above me, and the wall falls away behind me. I land hard on the floor of the elevator. The sterile white lights bring me back to my surroundings. Whatever they gave me has worn off, but they don't know it yet. The dark-haired one is watching me. Even with the expression obscuring goggles, I can feel their eyes on me. "You can stop pretending, Jane." The blonde one nodded vigorously. "Yeah, we know it's worn off." "That's part of the fun," the brunette laughed. The elevator gave a final, stomach-dropping lurch and the doors opened. Darkness waited beyond. I pressed my back against the wall. No. I want to scream, but it comes out as a whisper. One of the goggled attendants pushes me out of the elevator. They each take an arm and drag me into the darkness. We turn an unseen corner, and the meager light from the elevator is gone. The attendants move confidently. They seem to be able to see in the dark. Sounds swirl around the darkness, groans and unearthly wails, voices. The words come to me in bits and pieces. Each one is filled with anguish. They sink into me, sharing their pain, and it makes me heavy. My already hesitant steps take more effort. My feet are like stone. The attendants are practically carrying me now. Their breathing is just a little more labored under my weight. They stop suddenly. The sounds stop as well. The silence is heavy, and I feel it slowly crushing me. My legs are turning to jelly under the weight. Despite the darkness, I sense there is a wall in front of me. The attendant on my right rattles some keys. There is a metallic scraping sound as the key is inserted in an unseen door. A wave of blinding golden light washes over me and obscures everything else. The attendants push me hard and I stagger into the room. A loud bang follows as they slam the door behind me. I drop to my knees and am surprised to find the floor is soft. A thick, luxurious carpet covers the usual hard tiles. I slide my hands forward through the unbelievable softness and end up splayed out on my belly. I've never felt anything like it. Even as a child, my parents lived in the standard apartments. They were mid-level sellers, but nothing fancy like cars or jet skis. They sold practical things, pots and pans, juicers, mostly kitchen items. Their apartment was the same as all the others on our block. Hard, tiled floors and stiff, unforgiving furniture. A place to sleep between shifts. They worked a lot. I used to draw to fill the time when I was alone. In secret, of course. Even as a child, I understood that drawing was not something I was supposed to do. It started innocently enough. I was very young. Dad was home with a cold and trying to work from the apartment. The power was going off and on as it did from time to time. Dad was cursing and scratching away at a piece of paper with a strange stick. The next power outage made him curse loudly and toss the stick hard against the wall. It bounced off and rattled under the stained wooden table. He stormed into the bathroom and locked the door. As soon as the lock clicked, I crawled under the table and retrieved the strange stick. I hurried to my room and slipped it under my pillow. I was back in the main room just as Dad unlocked the bathroom door. He watched me stack blocks for a moment, then cleared his throat. Time for me to go. "Room time," he rumbled. His thick finger pointed to my door. I scurried into the room and waited. Dad didn't move for a long moment. What was he doing? I broke into a sweat and felt my little heart race with fear. The power came back on, and the sudden light was blinding. Dad cursed and stumbled. I heard him bump the edge of the table on his way back to the desk in the corner. I heard the bright sound of his tablet coming to life, and allowed myself to relax. The strange stick was still under my pillow. Somehow I expected it to not be there, to have vanished in that brief moment. When my fingers touched the smooth wood, a shock went through me. I wrapped my hand around the stick and pulled it from its hiding spot. It was yellow and pointed on one end. A soft pink stump, worn away in places, covered the other end. I took a book from my shelf, a happy tale about small furry animals that I'd never seen in real life. Around the black and white words were white spaces. Tentatively, I rubbed the pink end across the space. I stared in horror as it began to disintegrate, leaving bits of pink in its wake. I quickly brushed them away and tried the other end. Success. A thin, wobbly gray line emerged from the point. What happened next was completely foreign to me. I lost time. It would happen again and again throughout my life, but that first time terrified me. When I came to, every blank space in the book was filled with pictures. Mom and Dad, my friends at the group school, the food rations we got every week. There were other things, too. Strange things. The pictures were not unpleasant. They made me feel funny, like I wanted to cry, but not from sadness. The pictures made me happy. That's what it was. The thing in all my books. The thing that Mom and Dad took their pills to find. The thing everyone was searching for. I'd found it by myself. And that was a dangerous find.